They look all quirky. Oh, sorry, quirky. Oh, here we go again. Microphone wasn't on. So I'm going to show you how to create and how sort of the nuances of the modules page and modules and way modules pages and how it may look on different screens. So I'll show you how it might look on a large screen, something like this, or maybe a mobile device, something like this. All cool. So both the same. That's a mobile device as a student view, and the other one is main view. And we work in the main view majority of the time, and we'll just have a look at sort of the way these pages work and the way the templates kind of work with the ones I've designed. So let's go back to the main page, and it's just got some templating stuff, something a few of us have been working on just to make our courses look a bit more appealing for students, right? And have a standardized approach. Now, if you don't have this kind of look, or at least an appealing look, an engaging look, and it looks like something like, now this is neat, to be fair. This is a neat modules page, right? So it has weekly content going down, week 1. It even has a homepage section. It could be an introduction section, maybe a pre-course section, and then it goes through into the weeks. Now you'll notice that a lot of it's not published, and we'll come into that in a minute, and the sort of the nuances of what happens there when you template things up. But we'll wind our way through. So we'll start at the home page, and then we'll have a look at these pages here. So module information, assessment information, and we'll have a look at one of the weeks. And really, once you see, say, week 1 with this pre and post setup, you've seen the rest 2 to 12, right? Because they're exactly the same. They repeat going down the page. So let's start off at the home page. Now, things to think about with modules page. Now, just going to go back a bit. So within this module page, you might have a bum fight going off of resources, and if you don't drive your site through something that looks like this, doesn't have to look exactly the same as this, but it might well be something that you set up to contain information. We've got a few bits and pieces, just placeholder stuff, right, that's ready to be filled in by a lecturer. And we've got some accordions there, and you can find out how to do accordions online. I think I've got a video of it somewhere. Reading lists would link out to a reading lists area. Week 1 would link out to maybe a pre and post area, and we've done this kind of stuff. Okay, so that's a cool setup. It repeats. It should be easy to find for students. We use student feedback to inform us what works and what doesn't, right? So if you don't drive that kind of content, and you have files and you have links and you have that kind of stuff going off in here, you really need to sort of sort out your content properly, because students aren't going to find it. They're going to find it really difficult. And you don't have to put the content in the modules page for them to find things. You can come off of pages for them to find the resources. You could add in a choice board or a playlist in this kind of area here for them to bounce off and go find resources online or in your site. Canvas content in your site exists in its area along this navigation. So if I was to look at further down, and I find pages and files and quizzes, all the pages that you see here, so these 3 are pages, that 3 there's pages, so is that, and all the way down the page, all the way down the modules page, all exist in here. And if I go into that, and then it will normally display the home page if I've got one. If I go to view all pages, I can see all of them ones that are on the modules page, but I can also see ones that maybe aren't on it. This page here called embedding isn't on that modules page. It exists in here, which isn't available to students, but it doesn't exist as a page within one of these squares, which is a Canvas module, hence modules, Canvas module. But a student could still get to it. If I was to come into, say, homepage, and then I put a URL in somewhere, anywhere in that page. So if I was to say I wanted a link there, I could link to that embedding page, but it's not in there. So just because it exists in here doesn't mean you have to put it in here. Get it? Right. That's a better way to make Canvas work. Now, what you can also do within a page, and you'll see in this home page here, and we've gone through week 1, and now these 3 buttons that you see here are linked to pages. If I was to look at modules, so I've got week 1, pre and post, right? So if I go modules, I've got a week 1 pre and post. The links go to that, and that, not that. Now if I go back to home page and I go to edit and I go down in find that again, so what you find is when you deal with accordions in Canvas, what it does when you go into edit mode, it opens the accordions up accordingly, and it's easier to manage, right? So all you do is you just edit the text. So if you wanted to edit that text, highlight it, tap away, write what you need to write, delete it if you want, put a picture in if you want. It's all up here. Okay, so this 3 here link back out to my yellow buttons. Now, the quirkiness of these yellow buttons is soon if I was to click in there and go remove link, what it will actually do, it will remove the underlying Canvas links that it puts in there, which it builds it, that kind of stuff for you, but it will destroy the yellow buttons, and you don't want to destroy the yellow buttons, you just want to build the pages. Now it's a bit quirky, right? So the easiest way to do is know where that page is and then link to that, all by going to link options. Now you can come into here and go pages and then just find it. So I would find week 1 pre-session material. It just comes up a link to that anyway, but if I wanted to change it, I could do it there, or there, or there, or there. Happy days, right? Now, there is a difference when you see pages and you go and find modules. So if I was to link to week 1 modules, it will take me back, and we just do a quick shifty at that. So it would take me and link me into this page and make that the top part of it. That's just, I don't know, I wouldn't do that. I don't drive my sites like that. I let the modules area or modules page drive the flow of the content, the mix of pages and discussions and assignments, formative and that kind of stuff in here, but I don't drive it usually by putting a link anywhere in this sort of area, course links, and doing it through modules. That's something I don't do very often at all because it's not appealing to students. Link to the pages underneath, so link to, if you built this structure, a pre and or post, do it that way, or just build a page which way you want to build it. You can build it in modules, you can build a page there and then delete it. It will still stay in that pages area, and then you can link to it back in there later. It's kind of a round way doing it, or you can build them in pages and do it that way. So just be mindful of the way you can build links in here. You could link into pages, which is my preferred way of doing it because a student drives it a bit better. Well, drives it a bit better, they see it more engaging, and then do it that way. And then if you need to link to resources that maybe you normally have in a resource in the modules page, such as URLs and other pages and discussions, that sort of, put links in there, and then you can build around it and make it richer. And that's really what is happening when you look at one of, say, an in session. So if I look at that, rather than putting the lecture slides in my modules page and just throwing a PowerPoint at it, I could put it in there and put my lecture slides in there, which is cool because you're doing a mix of things in your sessions, maybe whether it be in class or out. And you can also put other things around your lesson material as well. So they don't just get lecture slides and then underneath in the modules page you get a URL to the BBC to do a bit of research. They can actually do different activities, and it might well be that, again, these are happening inside your sessions. We have got week 1 through to week 12 all available for students to get into, right? And these are linked to those modules in modules page in here. And we, as a student, can only see home week 1 and week 2. But when we go home, we can see all of them. That's because the template's been set up like that. So, what will happen when a student, say, tries to get into week 5 and comes over here? Nope. Access denied. It's linked to it. They'll get an access denied sort of button. Now, if I look at that on the mobile, let's just flick over. And then we're looking at this. So if I was to go to week 5 here, one thing it does do, it does get rid of the yellow buttons. It destroys those. Right, let's not worry about that. It's something that happens on a mobile device, but it's accessible in that they can get into here. So let's come through to in. What happens on a mobile device? They get nothing. So there is no way around that. You get a link that's a dead link, and it's nothing shown, right? So a student can come back, go to that one, look, there's still a link in there again, it doesn't even tell them like the other one. So just be mindful of that, what goes on in that mobile device. So let's just reset student, and then we'll come back. And we'll back to the home page. So things to bear in mind when you look at a plated Canvas site. They look all quirky. Oh, sorry, quirky. Oh, here we go again. So there you go. This is how the templates kind of work, and all of the rest. So yes, that's Canvas templates. And I think it'd be wise for me to create a string of videos around this template, this one particular one, showing you how to edit the little bits and add in more weeks if you wanted to, or add in take away weeks of this particular page, the top page, or add in links and things like that. So if it's helpful, do the subscribey thing and link and like and all that. And then we'll see how it goes. But if you need me and you're in Peterborough, find me, contact me, done, all the rest. I'm going to carry on with my tea. See if that wakes me up this morning. Ciao. Bye.